Today marks the addition of the Stairmaster to our plan. Boy, oh boy, am I... It's not as bad as it could be. Could be worse. But it's the Stairmaster. We're going to be doing... It'll depend on the day. We're going to do about 20 to 30 minutes a day. We're going to push for 30 if we have the energy to do 30. If not, 20 will be okay. Should burn, a couple hundred extra calories. We're currently sitting at hitting a minimum of 10,000 steps a day. I think as the next couple weeks move along, instead of adding or reducing our calories and our food intake at the moment, we're going to increase slowly steps and Stairmaster time. So we might try to target 11,000 steps a day, then 12, 13, 14, 15. And I want to cap out at 15. I don't think doing more than that will be beneficial, nor time efficient for how much time I have in a day that's free. So we're going to work our way up, ramp up to 15K steps. And I hope I don't need to push beyond about 45 minutes of the Stairmaster. The absolute maximum I plan to do is maybe an hour, but I think we're going to stick with about 30, pushing up to possibly 45 minutes of Stairmaster. And then as we kind of step our way up, I do eventually want to begin dropping our calories a bit lower. We are currently eating about 2,000 calories a day, which ballpark should be about 1,000 calorie deficit, maybe 900, just fine. So we should be targeting close to or about 2 pounds of weight loss a week, which I think is perfectly fine for where I'm sitting. I think I sit about 23 to 25% body fat, realistically. So about 180 pounds. And I got, we'll say 36 to 40 pounds of fat that I can lose. Of course, we can say about 10% of that will stay. I think the lowest we'll get to is about 10% body fat if we go all the way to that number. So even then, okay, so that's 18 pounds in addition to the baseline. So if we just say for numbers, save about 40 pounds of fat to lose. That's going on the upper end. That'll put us about 140 pounds of lean body mass, not necessarily muscle, but bones and various tissues, etc. Say about 140 pounds. We add in about 18 pounds, assuming about 10% body fat. We're going to sit at about 158 pounds area. If I go on the rate I'm at now, I could in the next about 7-8 weeks hit the 165-ish pound area. Of course, as the weeks go along and the weight drops, we don't want to continue at this 2 pounds of weight loss a week, or about 1.8, so about 1% to 1.1% ish body weight loss per week. That will become extreme as we taper down. So up until 15% body fat, I do want to maintain this rate of 1% body fat loss per week. Even if it goes a little bit above that, I'd be okay with that. I do know it might come at the cost of a little bit of additional muscle, but I don't think it's going to be a extreme amount to be necessarily concerned about that we can't just regrow when we bulk back up in the future. The plan from there will be to just at 15% or so, we will begin tapering that down to be 0.75, 0.5% loss per week. And once we get down to about 10%, so we'll say about 160, 158 to 160 pounds area. And of course, this will depend on how I look. If at 160 pounds, if I'm not very vascular, I know there's going to be some loose skin, but if I'm not very vascular at that point, and I don't even think I'm 10%, then we might have overdone our estimation, which means we'll still need to go down a bit lower to go from there. We'll gauge it And I think when we hit about a 160, we'll actually go and get some tests done, see if we can get some estimates. I know they're not perfect, but it's worth at least getting ideas. And at least just tracking, looking at our photos. But yeah, we'll like taper ourselves down, and then I want to maintain. I want to. I mean, we might have to cut lower of a lower body weight depleted state, but I want to maintain that like 160, 165 pound mark for 12, 16 weeks, give or take, pretty much through the end of summer, going into the fall. And I just want to get comfortable sitting at that weight. I haven't been at that weight in a very long time, and last time I was there, I didn't stay there a very long time, and I didn't consciously like eat a maintenance at the time. I just kind of let myself go and eat whatever I'd like to. So at this point, I want to be at that weight. I want to make it a maintenance time period, an adjustment period. I want to get comfortable sitting at that weight, being that lean again, and also just get comfortable eating at that maintenance before we go into a bulking phase. As much as I would like to just immediately go into a bulking phase, I don't think for me and my situation, that is the healthiest thing to do. I think sitting at a maintenance, continuing to work out, keep my cardio. Of course, we'll kind of tailor it back a little bit, but we're still going to be keeping cardio in there, and then we can begin bulking. So if I'm roughly burning 3,000 calories a day, maybe 2,800, let's just say 2,800 to 3,000, because as I drop weight, of course, like my actual total daily energy expenditure will go down, as I generally just will weigh less. So we'll have to tailor it. I think maybe at the bottom end, 2,500 calories, but even then maintaining at 2,500 we'll probably end up 1,700 calories a day, maybe even, I hope not lower, but I'm estimating 1,700. That's an extra 800 calories in addition to the meals. We'll sit there, get comfortable with that, weight and that amount, and adding in maybe some more palatable foods, and adding in a little bit of freedom, testing, kind of getting to know my body at that point more. And then we can look at bulking once I'm comfortable and I've kind of addressed a lot of things. And then I think going into a bulk will be the proper route from there. And we'll go with a controlled, steady, slower bulk. I don't believe in this whole 50 calorie bulk bullshit. I'm sorry, but that's tracking 50 calories is practically speaking impossible. I mean, that is rounding errors in foods. I mean, these foods have estimations. They don't have to be precise. So that 50 calories is going to be a straight up just estimation, and you're not going to track that. So I will probably maybe do like a 250 calorie, maybe, I don't think 500 calorie, but we'll look at where we are going to sit and how the game goes. But yeah, maybe 250, 350 calories of excess, upwards of maybe 500, and bulk up to probably the max of like 175, 180. We're going to gauge it based off body fat before we do a then like mini cut, drop back down a bit, and kind of repeat that cycle. And I want to do it in a controlled fashion to where I don't just bulk too much, but I also don't want to cut too far. So that's kind of the plan and what's been going on. Catch you guys in the next one.